At 29, I was the woman everyone underestimated. My name is Emma Carter, and the night 3 strangers laughed at me while I refilled their wine glasses, I made a silent promise. They'd never forget my name again. For 5 years, I'd been working as a waitress at the Silver Maple, an upscale restaurant tucked into the corner of downtown Charleston. To the outside world, I was just another smiling face taking orders and serving plates. No one cared that I was there 6 days a week, sometimes 14 hours a day. I'd learned to read people's moods by the way they held their forks, to memorize wine lists like verses of a prayer, and to swallow my pride when customers treated me like furniture. But there was more to me than the black apron and polite smile. Behind every "yes, sir," and "of course, ma'am," there was a plan. I wasn't just working at the Silver Maple, I was studying it. Every invoice that crossed the manager's desk, every whisper between the head chef and the owner, every supplier name, every bottle ordered. I knew exactly what kept this restaurant running and what could bring it down. Because one day, it wasn't going to be their restaurant anymore. It was going to be mine. It was a Friday night, the kind that hums with money. The dining room was full, candles flickering, jazz playing low in the background. That's when they walked in. 3 people. 2 men in tailored suits, and a woman whose heels could probably buy my week's groceries. They were loud before they even sat down, the kind of customers who didn't care about the atmosphere because they believed they were the atmosphere. I greeted them with a smile. "Good evening. Welcome to the Silver Maple. My name is Emma. I'll be taking care of you tonight." The older man didn't even look up from his phone. The woman gave me a thin smile that didn't reach her eyes. The younger man, slick hair, expensive watch, looked me up and down like he was deciding whether I was worth noticing. "Can we get someone who knows the menu?" he asked. "We're kind of in a rush." I felt my stomach tighten, but my smile didn't budge. "Of course, sir. I know the menu very well. Would you like to hear tonight's specials?" He smirked. "Sure, if you can pronounce them." His friends laughed. It wasn't the first time someone mocked me. But something about the casual cruelty in his voice hit differently that night. I recited the specials clearly, flawlessly. Years of practice made sure of that. But instead of acknowledging it, the woman waved me off. "We'll just take the sea bass, the steak medium rare, and the pasta. And make sure the steak isn't dry this time. Last time it was awful." I wrote down the order. "Absolutely. I'll make sure it's perfect." She looked up at me with a smirk. "I'm sure you will, sweetheart. Maybe one day you'll get to eat here too." The table laughed again. Something inside me went cold. People like them were the reason I'd built my dream in silence. 5 years earlier, I'd been one of them, or close to it. I'd graduated with honors in business administration, full of ambition, ready to start a management career. I got a job at a tech firm, met a man named Ryan, and thought I was set. But life has a way of cutting you down when you get too comfortable. When my father got sick, I left my job to take care of him. Ryan didn't like it. He said he didn't sign up for a nurse. He left 2 months later, right before my father died. The funeral drained my savings. The hospital bills drained the rest. So I took the first job I could find, waiting tables. At first, it was temporary, just a way to survive. But over time, I realized something. The Silver Maple wasn't just a restaurant. It was a gold mine run by people who didn't see its true value. The owner, Mr. Dalton, was nearing retirement. His manager was careless, often drunk by closing time. The staff turnover was constant. But the restaurant had soul, a reputation, a loyal clientele, and a menu that deserved better leadership. So I stayed. I learned. I listened. And when Mr. Dalton confided one night that he was thinking about selling, maybe next year, if the price is right, I started saving every dollar I could. I took business courses online. I built relationships with suppliers. I even started a small catering service on the side to build capital. Every tip went into a separate account. Every spare minute went into research. And that Friday night, as those three laughed at me for being a waitress, they had no idea I was weeks away from finalizing a deal that would make me the new owner of the Silver Maple. When their food came out, I served them with grace. They complained about the bread being too warm. They mocked another waitress's accent. The man with the watch kept calling me honey every time he wanted something. I kept smiling, because I wasn't serving them. I was serving my future. As I cleared their plates, I overheard the younger man bragging. My firm's buying out this place soon. They say it's prime real estate. We'll probably tear it down and put in something better. Maybe a rooftop bar. I froze. His firm. Buying out this place? My chest tightened. Mr. Dalton hadn't mentioned another offer. That night, after we closed, I knocked on his office door. He looked up, surprised. Emma, what's wrong? I heard something tonight, I said carefully. A customer mentioned their firm is planning to buy the restaurant. Mr. Dalton sighed. Ah, that. They made an offer last week. Too low, though. I'm not signing anything yet. Please don't, I said, my voice firmer than I meant. I'm almost ready. I can make you a fair offer. Just give me a little more time. He smiled sadly. I know you've worked hard, Emma. I've seen it. I'll give you a month. A month. That was all I needed. 2 weeks later, fate, or maybe karma, came knocking again. The same trio walked into the Silver Maple. I felt my jaw tighten as I approached their table. Welcome back, I said evenly. Would you like your usual seats? The younger man smirked. Oh, look, it's our favorite waitress. Guess we made quite the impression. You did, I said, my tone calm. Your usual drinks? Sure, he said. And tell your chef to make sure the steak's not as rubbery as last time. I'd hate to leave another bad review. I smiled tightly. Of course. But this time, I noticed the man's briefcase on the chair beside him. When he opened it, I caught sight of documents, one with a familiar name on the header, the Silver Maple Holdings Transfer Agreement. They weren't bluffing. They were trying to buy the restaurant. That night, when they left, I made a call. Mr. Dalton, I said when he picked up, it's Emma. I need to meet with you tomorrow morning. It's important. The next morning, I walked into his office with a folder full of documents. My proposal, financial backing, business plan, and a bank loan letter I'd secured the previous day. He read through it silently. You're serious, he finally said. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. He smiled, proud, maybe even emotional. You remind me of myself when I started this place, determined, brave, maybe a little crazy. He stood, extending his hand. It's yours, Emma. Let's sign the papers next week. I almost cried. A week later, the deal was official. The Silver Maple was mine. The day the ownership changed hands, I didn't tell anyone right away. I wanted to work one last shift to remind myself of the journey. And as if the universe wanted to write the perfect ending, the same trio made a reservation that night. They didn't recognize me, of course. Just another waitress in black, bringing them menus and water. The younger man, his name, I later learned, was Daniel Reed, gave me that same smirk. Hey, honey, tell your boss the place could use a renovation. Might buy it myself one day. I set down the water pitcher gently. Actually, that won't be necessary. He frowned. Excuse me? I smiled. A real one this time. You see, I'm the new owner, so if you have feedback, I'll be sure to take it under consideration personally. For a moment, he just stared at me. Then the woman laughed nervously. You're joking. I shook my head. No, ma'am, I'm not. The silence that followed was delicious. The color drained from Daniel's face. He looked like someone had just handed him the bill for his arrogance. I leaned forward slightly. And just so you know, the steak will still be medium rare. But next time, I suggest ordering with respect. Then I walked away, leaving them speechless. Owning the Silver Maple wasn't just about revenge. Though that moment was sweet, it was about transformation. In the weeks that followed, I gave the restaurant a quiet facelift, new lighting, better staff benefits, updated menu. I promoted the hardworking servers who'd been overlooked and let go of those who didn't value teamwork. Within 3 months, reviews skyrocketed. The local paper called it Charleston's comeback story of the year. People began to whisper my name with admiration instead of pity. Investors reached out. And yes, one day, Daniel Reed walked in again, alone this time. He didn't recognize me at first, not with my tailored suit and heels. But when I approached his table to check on his meal, his eyes widened. "Emma?" I nodded. "Mr. Reed." He cleared his throat. "Listen, about that night. It's forgotten," I said, smiling. "But I hope you learned something." He nodded slowly. "Yeah, I did." He paid in full, left a generous tip, and walked out without another word. Looking back, I realize life has a strange way of humbling people. Some nights you're the one clearing dishes. Other nights you're the one signing paychecks. But in the end, success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. I still keep that old black apron in my office drawer. It reminds me of every insult, every long shift, every moment I wanted to give up. Because that was the version of me who refused to break. The waitress they insulted at dinner became the woman who owned the restaurant the next day, and she never looked back.